You are live.
Okay, it's 3 o'clock. We're going to call this meeting of the regular meeting of the Board of Selectmen together at 3 o'clock. The public is able to attend this meeting in person if you advise ahead of time, because we have limited space in the room where we are meeting. Also, the public is able to contact us by joining the Zoom meeting, and we'll try and watch to see if anything comes up that we need to respond to there. Or also you can watch on YouTube. I think you all know where you can send questions if you have them. So we'll get on with, let's do our COVID-19 update first.
Sure.
Dave will take it this time.
Okay, Dave.
Sure. So just looking at the numbers, not too much has changed other than some of the contact cases are increasing across the state. For here, we're not really seeing it other than past cases that we have. So I know. And I don't know if this is going to go up later in the meeting, but the ice arena, the hockey teams have canceled. No Massachusetts team can travel to out of state anymore, and I believe they canceled all statewide, all travel teams for all hockey teams in New England, actually. So unless you're from New Hampshire, you can't go anywhere else.
Right, through the end of the year, is my
Yes.
understanding.
Yep.
Yes.
They can still practice, but they can't have competitions.
Okay. Okay. We have one new case that I've seen.
That's what I've heard. But,
Yeah, I mean, if I look at the DHHS website, it says we have one active case right now, and we have 5 total now in Waterville Valley for the entire period.
Yep.
So, the only reaction that I have is that with what is going on in the United States, I mean, if you look at where the number of new cases is right now in the United States, if you look at the number of deaths, if you look at, our statistics, even in New Hampshire, we had gotten to a point where 91% of the people who had gotten COVID had recovered, and now it's dropped to below 80%. So things are going up even in New Hampshire. And when we had half the number of cases back in April, we were told to stay at home. Don't go out, okay? So it seems to me that is pretty good advice. If you can stay at home, just stay out of contact with other people. That's a very good idea. Again, when you are out, do the social distancing, wear your masks. Do all of that. There's just more and more evidence that mask helps a great deal, and that the reason we're in the pickle we're in right now is because people chose not to wear masks when they needed to be wearing them. So just everybody, please keep up the good work in terms of your own personal habits and protecting yourselves, your families, your loved ones, your neighbors. I think that's very important. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? No?
No, we're part of the state calls that we had last week. We're going to be one of every municipality that the fire department is going to have rapid tests, and asking for all first responders to test themselves on a monthly basis.
Okay.
So we're working out the details of that to have that available for all our first responders.
Okay.
And it's through an agreement with DHHS.
Great.
And listening to the state, it sounds like the information that they're getting from the federal partners is the vaccine is on its way. And the first phase is scheduled to start sometime in December. And it's going to be on a very limited basis, not available to the general public yet, but they're going to be focusing on healthcare workers, first responders first. And then as time progresses and more of the vaccine becomes available, the Regional Health Consortium will get together for a region and organize vaccine events for our region. And also the federal government has contracted with CVS and Walgreens, and they're going to be distributing vaccines directly to them. This is not till late spring, perhaps early summer, for the general public also. But that won't have anything to do with the state. That's going to go straight from the feds to the CVS and Walgreens. There'll be other opportunities in other places, of course, but that is certainly as a plan to distribute the vaccine. That's just one of the other outlets that's going to be available.
Yeah, it seems to me the vaccine that is being talked about the most right now has some storage issues in terms of having to be kept at minus 75 degrees centigrade, and not a lot of places have that capacity at this point in time. Yeah, so I don't know whether somebody is working on that or not, but there are also other vaccines I understand that are coming along that also are, kind of in the process that don't have those same requirements on them. So we just have to kind of wait and see.
Yep, it's a little bit of good news, but we're still waiting to see.
And the good news is they're waiting for for it to be approved by the FDA. The good news is that drug companies are actually making it now. And they have, depending on what you read, some say millions of doses sitting on a shelf just waiting for approval.
Yeah. Sitting on a minus 75 degree shelf.
Yeah, but I mean, that's good news too, that once it gets the approval, that it's gonna be, I won't say it's not readily available, but it's not like they gotta wait now to produce mass doses.
That is.
They're already out there, so.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anything else?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. Before we go to privilege of the floor, there's an item that came to our attention today at 1:30 that Rich and I have not had a chance to discuss. Basically, we have heard from our lawyer. He has presented us with a draft of a quitclaim deed and a cover letter for the Lucases, and he's in the process of preparing a similar one for the
Waterville Company.
Waterville Company for the other lot. This is in response to, we discovered, or it was brought to our attention, or both, that Golden Heights Road, which is a right-of-way across two pieces of property in the Moose Run development. In 2008 at the town meeting, the town voted to have the town start plowing that road. And for the last 12 years, we've been doing that. But we never did anything official and legal in order to show that the town had responsibility for that road. So when this came to our attention, we talked to our attorney, our town attorney, and asked him to look into the situation and give us a recommendation. And so now he's given us back a draft of the recommendation. And Rich, I don't know whether you've had a chance to look at the draft or not.
I have, yes.
You have? Are you okay with it?
I am, yes.
Okay.
It's in line with the discussions we had with our attorney, with the town's attorney.
Okay. And I would just mention again that Mike Aronson has recused himself from this discussion for the simple reason that he is involved with real estate and with selling the lot that is one of the lots that is involved. So he needs not to participate in this discussion, and that's why it was important for Rich and I to have the opportunity to look each other in the eye and say, okay, we're all right with this. So that being said, we're going to offer this to the Lucases. We're not going to put it out for the general public, but we're willing to give the Lucases a draft of this letter. And I'm going to read what it says. And obviously, when you get the real letter, you will see on it that that you have the opportunity to call the town attorney with any questions. Obviously, you can go to your own attorney, but I'll read you what the letter says. As you may be aware, our office represents the town of Waterville Valley, and we've been asked to help the town address some outstanding road deeding issues. One such circumstance is Golden Heights Road, which runs across your parcel ID 105-010036-1. From our review, the town's rights to Golden Heights Road consist of a 50-foot right-of-way due to acceptance of the dedication of the road at the 2008 town meeting. Although a deed was not done at that time, the town has prepared, that should say prepared, shouldn't it? Says repaired, oh no. The town has repaired and maintained Golden Heights Road since the acceptance. In order to effectuate the directive from town meeting, we would like to execute the attached easement deed with you. Our goal is simply to put the relative rights, and if you and your council have any questions about this project, please do not hesitate to reach out. And it's who's the town attorney. And also attached to that, when you receive it, Jenny and Peter, will be a quitclaim easement deed. Talks about the situation that currently exists and basically making it formal. Okay? So we're going to open for privilege of the floor now. Jenny and Peter, I thought I saw you were on there. Do you have, I see Jenny's iPhone is on there. You want to unmute them?
Yep. So. Yep. There you go.
Okay, Jenny, are you on? Peter?
Yes, I'm on. Can you hear me?
Yes. Do you have any
Thanks for reading that. And we'll wait to get, are we going to be getting that in the mail? Is that how it will arrive to us?
Correct.
Yes, yep, we can
Yeah.
mail that to you tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll take a look at it and probably call the town attorney if we have any questions.
Okay. This is just the first of many things that we as selectmen have to clean up from many town meetings where roads were handed over to the town. There are all kinds of different circumstances in which that was done. For instance, I can tell you, I live out on River Road, and River Road had a road, not an easement, that was common property to the association. And we voted as a town to take that road over, and the town has been maintaining that since 2003.
Yes.
But there was never any formal document prepared, either by the homeowners association or the town, to formally deed that road to the town. So we have a number of those situations that we're trying to fix. Golden Heights is the first one that came to our attention, but it caused us to go look at all our other situations, and our intent is to fix all of them. We had intended to try and address all of the Moose Run lot concerns because they were all voted on in 2008 at the same time, but we've not been able to get to all of that yet. So we will continue on with that, and when we finish with Moose Run, we'll go on to some others. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Jenny. You'll see that in the mail tomorrow.
Okay, perfect.
A point of clarification.
Tom, you want to identify yourself, please?
Tom Myrick, representing the Moose Run Association. Be you sure the town's attorney read the declaration covering Moose Run?
Yes, he did.
Because in here is we have 4 instances of interior private roads running on people's property, and they're all considered common. So one solution would be that this road that is now on 2 lots becomes common property. We would assume that if that was an option, then the town would still continue to maintain the road,
The town did take maintenance of the road in 2008.
That's
So
correct.
yes, we have maintenance of the road.
They just didn't take I'm Barry Fish, they just didn't take ownership of the road. Is that
And
what
we're
you're saying?
still not going to take ownership of the road. We're going to, actually, the easements that we're talking about are in the deeds on the property, but we are doing this quick claim to strengthen or to verify the fact that the town is accepting responsibility
Okay.
for that 50-foot easement
Okay.
right of way. Yep. And the maintenance of the road so that it does not fall back on the homeowners association.
So who does own the roads in Goose Run today?
Well, right now, the Waterville Company owns, and we just found this out this morning, and that's why we didn't have the actual documentation prepared yet. We just found out this morning, it was verified by the Waterville Company attorney, that there was never any deed from the Waterville Company over to the homeowners association for Lost Pass Road,
Right.
Flat Mountain, or Drake's Brook Road. Right.
We knew that.
Okay, so what we're going to do with those roads, because those were also voted on in 2008, is we're going to have a deed from the Waterville Company to the town, and then the town will actually own those roads.
On the town. That's right.
Yes.
With the exception of Golden Heights.
Golden Heights was different because it was an easement. It was not actually laid out in the approved subdivision as a road on the plan. It was laid out as a right-of-way easement situation. So that's why it is different. That's why with the Lucases and with the Waterville Company, we had to do these quick claim deeds that Margaret just talked about.
So the history is, when this document was filed in 2005, it was filed with a plat of Moose Run.
Yes,
And Golden Heights Road was a 50-foot wide right-of-way.
Yep.
Not on any lots, not on 29 and not on 36, all by itself. The 50-foot right-of-way were the same as the rest of the roads that the town were to be taken.
Mhm.
So it was built to a 20-foot road, which is a town spec road. So that was built to a town spec road with a 50-foot plot, or 50-foot right-of-way, which is 15 feet on both sides.
Mhm.
So one of the wrinkles that I find annoying is when the Waterville Company subdivided in 2019, I think it was June or May or something. The road was originally built in the middle with 2 drainage ditches on either side. Now the road is against the property with 30 feet of drainage ditches on one side, which effectively made it easier to enlarge that lot, because he took the 15 feet that should have been road, 15 feet, and then the setback. Now it's road and setback, and 15 feet's across the street, which made the lot, he made the lot actually become a half-acre lot. But that was pretty slippery to take the drainage ditches and act like they don't exist. Do you follow me?
okay.
My annoyance has been for multiple planning boards. I've wandered in when they were trying to get away with all the zoning and trying to build the 25 lot little house. I said, do you realize the land you're talking about is covered under lots of sections of this book? And basically I get thrown out of every meeting. So at this point, do what you want. Please take care of the road. Yeah, we'll consider, basically, we're just going to consider it common property. Just like the other 4 roads that are running across people's lots.
Okay.
Okay,
Just one last question.
yeah, there.
The road in question, Golden Heights, once this gets done legally, who will then own the road?
The lots of one.
That's correct.
The what?
The land, the fee title for the land will go with the lots. And
So,
the town will have a permanent easement for a road 50 feet as described in the subdivision plan. That will be the area where the town can maintain a road.
so the people that own the property that the road is on,
Mhm.
they will essentially own that road.
No,
No.
well, yes,
They
they
own
will,
the
they will
They own
have
the
the fee
land.
title to the land underneath the road.
Okay.
The town will have responsibility to maintain the road.
And liability wise,
Liability wise, it is a town road. It is the town's responsibility.
okay.
Yep, so if there's a pothole in that road or whatever the case may be, it's treated like any other road in town. Yep.
So Barry, remember the two on Drakes Brook Road, the Drakes Brook extension, all of that property is on two lots.
Right.
It's not split in the middle, it's all on one of those lots.
Right.
And so that's declared common property, so it's covered under our insurance. So if somebody has a problem and sues a liability suit,
Mhm.
it's covered by the associations.
That's correct,
Sure.
because there's a very short, in the case of Drake's Brook, the piece that the town took was extremely short.
Yeah,
It was only a few
Yeah.
hundred feet, if
Yeah,
it was,
yeah.
if
they
not.
took the first 175.
Yeah, exactly.
150 feet. we took
Right, right.
first. So to us, this situation is now the same as it is in Drake's Brook.
Yeah.
But if you want to do it this way, that's fine.
Well, again, as we looked at the situation and as described to us by our town attorney, the only thing we are doing is memorializing formally what already existed.
Which is
that's-
what town meeting told you to do.
Which
And-
is basically what town
Yeah.
meeting told us to do.
Right.
So, and the other thing that was interesting in talking to him is he said, it's pretty common for this to happen, that towns, take over roads or easements or whatever, and the paperwork never happens. He said, but the fact that we have been maintaining and plowing that road for 12 years, that road is our responsibility and will continue to be our responsibility. So that's kind of where we are.
Okay?
Okay? Thank you.
You're welcome. I don't see anybody else here for privilege of the floor.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go over our minutes. Minutes from the meeting of October 14th. These are the ones that we scrubbed a couple of times.
Yeah, I did not review them except for the
I'm
portion.
fine with them as they are.
Yeah.
Okay, I am as
That
well.
wording change that I put in my,
Right.
yes, what you
Correct. Okay, and then we have our special meeting that was held on October 21st. That was the meeting
Right.
in which we discussed
I had nothing on that one
I
either.
didn't have anything on that one.
I just had two, one very minor, line 29, change R-A-R-E to is. And lines 33 to 37, we don't actually say, although it's implied, that the select board denied the request. Does someone have it in front of my laptop decided it was going to go somewhere other than where I wanted it to go? There you go. I think if you look at
What line are you talking about, Ray?
33 to 37, it's a sentence, really.
The board was in agreement to apply the requirements for a new water main line as outlined through regulation. The present drought conditions and water restrictions are now in place, and the board
And
and
staff,
staff concerns exceeding the permit for well 4 being the sole operating well. Mark will respond by
Right.
email to Craig and copy the board.
And technically, I don't think we
We
did
didn't put it to a vote.
deny. We did not put it to a
It
vote.
wasn't brought up as a
What
motion.
we said was that Craig needed to understand what the regulations were and apply for it under the regulations, and then we would consider it. But at the moment, we didn't have anything to
Right,
consider. So I think we are waiting for him to come back to us and make a request.
Right, which Chris and I sat down with him, but he did not need to, he told us that he didn't need to talk about the water situation at that point. So
Okay.
we still don't have anything from him.
Okay,
I'm good.
alrighty. Let's move on to October 28th, regular meeting.
All right, I got line 73, which fall instead, it should be fall instead of full. 74, maybe should be are operating instead of is operating. That's just my
Mhm.
79. There's, town has, and there's a S in there for no apparent reason. 81, should that be, not influent, should it be effluent? Is that correct?
No, it's influent.
Influent, wastewater influent. flow.
Okay.
What's
Yeah.
coming into the wastewater system, yeah. Do you have anything, Rich?
No, I'm not done.
Oh, you're not done,
I
sorry.
thought someone else might have some
Sorry.
stuff. From 147 to 152, that it was brought up to discuss the adding of the sander and the trade-in. And then around 156, Mark said he would check the options before signing any contract.
Which we did.
That's it for me.
Rich?
Okay, if we can go back up to 34, I think you can delete the word updates. 36, change plan to plan, to plans.
Which one are you on?
I'm on,
The 28th?
yeah,
All right.
Chris Hodges
36.
states.
yeah, 36, this week and plan, we'll host it, and plans, should be plans. Just for clarification, on 37, we, under the, operating under, I would just put NH, operating under the NH guidelines and recommendations. I think line 60 and 61 belong in the next section. In financial report, is that correct?
Yes, I believe so.
Yes,
Line
Yeah.
60 and 61?
yeah, they should go after the word wastewater on line 65.
Okay.
73, I think, goes one other thing, let's see, they were led by, which was, I don't know. is it- Was full? Yeah, that's what I had here, but was full, or well
Or are
attended.
full,
Huh?
because at that point you were going to do it because they are full. And they didn't want to cancel them because they are full.
And 74, remove the apostrophe in Saturdays. 82, very quickly, my note says move the, okay, which means it goes to the rise in the population of full-time people.
Increases can be attributed to the rise in the population.
Population of full-time people. I think that reads a little better. Did we do 180? I don't think 180 was remove they. The next for they will try until they, the shades arrive. And 197, change go to goes. And I just have one general comment. I think it may be helpful, just thinking of people who may be reading this for God knows what reason 10 years from now. It may be helpful at the very beginning to identify the position of the person who's talking. And when they're first identified, like I think we start out, for example, Chris Hodges updates or states that not much has changed. I know who you are. But maybe 10 years from now, if someone's looking at this for a legal reason, it will be helpful just to have the title for the first time someone is identified and mentioned. Yeah,
Okay.
I think as an official document, that would be a good thing.
All right, can I have a motion to approve the minutes of October 14th, October 21st, and October 28th as amended?
I so move.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Margaret, aye?
Rich, aye?
Okay. And so it shall be done. Financial report.
No change from the percentage standpoint, other than what we briefed last meeting. We are 88.5% through the year and 83.1% expended. And we've collected about 63.8% of our revenues, but that is low because of the fourth quarter utility billing. So we are tracking in all departments with what our projections were.
Okay. Any questions from anyone?
I do, while we're talking about the financial update, I received a notice from the New Hampshire retirement system about our employer percentages and changes. Employees are going to, employees meaning regular municipal, not public safety, fire or police, just the other municipal employees will be going up to 11.17% effective on July 1. Oh, I'm sorry. We'll be going up to 14.6% as opposed to right now it's 11.17%. Group 2, which is police and fire, are also seeing some pretty substantial increases. Police are going to go from the current 28.4% up to 33.9%, and fire is going to go from 30% to 32.9%. So those are effective on 1 July, so we do not see a complete impact of those numbers in a single year.
And that's a percentage of the employees' pay that the town has to pay for their
Correct, for their
retirement system, right?
Yeah.
Right. And do employees pay into their retirement
Yes, they
system
do.
as well?
Yeah.
How much do they pay in?
What are you guys paying now? I think
Like 20.
right now they're paying maybe 20% because they don't pay Social Security.
Yeah.
The municipal employees, I believe, pay 7 or 9% because that's on top of Social Security.
Okay. All righty. Okay, let's move on to department head reports. We still have you here, so why don't we start with you, Chris?
Not a whole lot has changed since our last meeting. We're getting caught up on our trainings for our year-end trainings, our annual trainings. We're getting Colby up to speed. It's kind of a wait and see what happens because things change every day as far as what's gonna go. Like, we've kind of recently learned there won't be any hockey until the first of the year at the earliest. And we're waiting to see what it's gonna look like at the ski area. And with the weather recently, I don't know if we're gonna find that out anytime soon. It's gonna be interesting to see how that all pans out. So we're trying to get prepared for all different, the parking lots being full of people tailgating or fewer people, or, it's gonna be interesting to see, because I don't think anyone knows for sure.
Right.
We kind of anticipate a lot of backcountry, like as far as the hikers that are coming out. We think they're gonna turn into snowshoers and cross-country skiers. That's one theory. So we're just kind of thinking and being prepared for everything we can think of. But other than that, it's, full speed ahead. We've noticed a decrease in activity for the last couple of weeks. So we'll see where it goes.
Okay.
It's all dictated by state mandates and guidelines and what people are allowed to do or not allowed to do, or what people choose to do or choose not to do. So it's kind of a wild card. Did you have anything, Dave?
No, I think he does fine.
Okay, Brooke, I see you up there.
Hello. So Tuesday, we had an opportunity to be a part of an NHPR interview that they were doing on our guidebook. Steve, the author, was there, as well as Preston Conklin and Dan Newton, and then also Eric from our department. So we look forward to seeing what comes out of that. Our after-school programs are continuing. We're moving from 2 days to 3 days a week because that particular group was looking for more care. So when our second session starts, we'll be doing 3 days as opposed to 2 days a week for them. Right now, we're looking at our possibilities for Thanksgiving. No announcements yet. Our Waterville Valley guidebook sales continue. Currently, we have 6,400 in revenues from that, and another 2,000 invoiced. It just seems to be a continuous demand for the book. We recently started a partnership with Rigid to offer a 2-part winter hiking class. The first part would be a prerequisite class, which would be an online class, about 2 hours, that Eric will instruct to the people that use this service down in Boston. And then the second part of the class is a full day hiking, winter hike up in the valley that we would be guiding. So that's an exciting opportunity for us, and we look forward to what that might bring. And that's all I have.
Okay. So I guess Santa is not coming to town on.
Nope.
2020,
Uh,
no Santa.
2020, no Santa.
You mean in the regular fashion?
So is he gonna do virtually, Brooke?
I'm not sure about Santa coming to the resort, because that's something they've always planned, but we have some plans to bring back a program that has been gone for quite a while that the rec department used to put on, which is the Santa Calls. So we are planning on doing that this year.
Okay. That sounds like a good idea. Fill the hole,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Brooke, how much are we charging the parents? Or are we charging the parents anything for after school?
Yes, we are. I don't have that number right in front of me. I believe it's between $10 to $12 a day. And I'm sorry, I don't have that number in front of me, but it's a slight increase from what it has been in the past, just because we always had the real low rate. So I think we're more competitive now with a couple of the schools. But because we're doing these shorter sessions, because we have so much unknown in front of us, it's about a $200 cost for the parents up front per session.
Okay. All righty. Thank you, Brooke.
Yep.
Jim, you're sitting here in front of us.
Yes, all right. Not too much to tell, we got about 2 inches of snow, and so we quickly had to outfit some of the trucks and get that taken care of, but.
Good test.
Hmm?
Good test.
Yes, it was. So, other than that, things are quiet. We're just making sure we're ready to take care of the weather. And we have started, we've collected all the material. We had to fabricate some metal for that section of fence that's missing at the dam. So we came up with a plan, and we fabricated some steel. We've attached that. It's been concreted in this afternoon, and we have all the material we need to start to assemble the fence that's going from the end of the bridge railing to the end of the staircase railing.
Okay.
So we've tried to match everything that we possibly can. The only thing that we may not be able to match perfectly is the top handrail in
Okay.
in color
Mhm.
and in material, so. But we'll get it as close as we possibly can.
Okay,
Building supplies are few and far between
yeah.
and very scarce. So,
And I'm excited about the new plow truck. I wanted to publicly thank Mike for his suggestion that we turn in the old truck with the sander on it and get a brand new plow and sander.
Yep.
And that seems to have worked out well. We ended up with a lower lease cost than what we were going to pay.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got the trade-in value on the truck, which would probably be fairly close to what we could have sold everything for.
Mhm.
So, it works.
So again, thank you, Mike. I thought that was a great suggestion. I'm glad that worked out.
It will be fun
Yeah.
going over to
We better go Route 25 and not the King.
oh, yeah, to get the old truck over and the new truck back. That's gonna be fun.
Okay. Same dealer, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And they both have flowers and sanders attached, so if you run into any trouble, you can always drop the plow, right?
You're gonna get through one way or the other.
That's right.
Okay.
Hey, Jim, just quickly, next time one of the guys, trucks are driving by on Valley Road by the athletic club, opposite that on the Packers Field side, I think last I saw, there's still like a political sign and a couple metal rods without a sign that's missing.
Oh, okay.
It just looks kind of, and I think we have a couple of our stakes, wooden stakes still up at the corner. There used to be a sign there that said school started or something like that.
Mhm.
The cardboard sign is gone, but the wooden stakes are still there,
Yeah,
so.
we'll pick them up. I don't know whose they were, but.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's, at this point, I don't think they're coming back for them, I just throw them in the trash.
Yep.
If you don't mind, next time.
Yep.
Truck is driving by.
All righty.
Any other, I did have the question under the department head update while we have department heads on here, about the Thanksgiving holiday and what you would like to
Oh,
see.
yes. Is everybody okay with continuing with what we have been doing, which I think is what Mark is
The luncheon?
proposing?
No, for as far as when people, if they travel, or see family over the holidays, what guidance would you like, what do you want us to talk to the employees about, if anything?
Just review what we're doing now every morning.
Well, right now, we have the screening questions, and everybody who has a shift that day has their temperature taken before they start work.
Right. And
And
everybody
that's
has
in
to
every
wear
department.
masks. when they're-
Everybody has to wear masks when interacting with the public.
Right.
Um,
And with
So,
each other, if they're within,
well, yeah, for an extended period of time,
Right.
like a meeting or
Right.
something like that. But when we're in our offices, when they're outside working, we are not mandating masks
Okay.
at this point.
okay. All right.
I'm still good with that, unless the state comes down.
Yeah. Unless something supersedes it, I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
And,
That's-
yeah, I mean, our people tell me it's common sense to stick to the guidelines
Yeah.
of where they're
yeah,
going.
absolutely. Because I know there are a lot of people worried about gatherings, family gatherings and that kind of thing. And you see the national things where they suggest that we all stay outside for our family gathering. I thought, no, that's not gonna happen up here.
Yeah.
So.
Well, no, I just want to make sure you were all okay with that.
Yeah.
and Given what the
Again, as Mike
governor
says,
said.
unless something comes along
Yeah.
from the state that
Right.
supersedes,
Yeah.
we'll go with that. Because
Okay.
all of our employees are considered essential workers, as
Yes.
far as I know. Okay. The
Thank you.
town meeting timeline.
I had distributed that to you. I just wanted to make sure that you're all still okay With that, we're planning on getting you the first draft of the departmental budgets by the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. And then either that next week or the week after, we can do our department head meetings the same way. That's our normal timing.
Right,
So we are tracking with that same
to try and get the
Time.
budget as close as we can before Christmas.
before
Before
Christmas.
the end of
That's
the year.
right.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the only, actually, we got an update from Josh McAllister at HEB Engineers yesterday afternoon that they are continuing with their field work for the
Yes.
road engineering. So
He's
the
been
only
here all week.
holdup that I see because we're still gathering information, is going to be the capital program.
Okay,
We probably will not have that completed by the end of November for you,
okay,
but it should be by the middle of December. We should be able to start putting numbers in there.
okay.
But the operating budgets are coming along well, and we're getting some answers.
Okay. Alrighty, next thing is the Historical Society Moose Plate Grant Acceptance. We need to do anything other than move that we accept the, let me see, where is it?
Item number 8,
Yeah,
In the
I was
packet.
looking for the amount.
$9,560.
I thought it
Yeah,
was
there
higher than that. 9875.
9560.
Just looking for, is the number on here somewhere? On the grant agreement?
No, it is not on.
Okay,
The
so
grant agreement.
the amount is 9560?
Correct.
Okay, I'd like to move that we accept the Moose Plate Grant for $9,560 on behalf of our Historical Society. Can I have a second?
I will second that motion.
All right, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Margaret, I do have a sheet here that we'll do after the meeting for your signature.
okay, great. Also, we have the grant application for trail sign.
Yeah, I don't have any paperwork on that for your signature yet. We've submitted the grant with the help of the North Country Council. It's $1,500, which would allow us to install another sign in our sign program in the center of town. So we should be notified of that in December if we get it.
Okay,
And then we can have the sign fabricated and we can put it up next spring.
okay,
So I'll work with the town core working group if we are successful and pick which sign we do and what it needs to say.
okay. Okay, on to old business. We have quite a lengthy submission from the Active Renewable Energy Committee.
Is she
Get an
there?
update. Is Linda there? Yes, she
Hey,
is.
Linda's there. All right.
Get Linda off mute. There she is.
Hello, thank
Hello.
you for your time today. I would like to give you an update on what the Renewable Energy Committee has been working on. There are 5 items. The first 3 are FYI. The first one is on the electric vehicle charging station. It'll be delivered on Monday and will be in shortly after. I was just attending a meeting for Blink to learn about host training, and we're putting together a blueprint that we can share with other condominium associations or businesses who want to go forward with electric vehicle charging in Waterville Valley. I'm also scheduled for a webinar on streamlining permits for EV installation, sponsored by the North Country Council, and we report back to Chris and the planning committee on it if there's anything that the town needs to know. Second, we've started communications with Bill Johnstone and Joe Lajewski at New Hampshire Electric Co-op to look at converting to LED bulbs in town. New Hampshire Electric has requested a lighting audit. Their records are outdated evidently. These audits, he said, are usually conducted free by an electrician. After speaking with Jim, we're working on selecting an electrician to kind of start the process. New Hampshire Electric Co-op is offering a 75% rebate on bulbs and conversion fixtures, which is, it's pretty nice. So more on that as we progress and hone in on what that 25% number could be. Thirdly, the new Renewable Energy Committee has finalized a request for qualifications for an energy advisor, and I think I'd mentioned this before, this is like our Tara. And we have developed a list of over 20 potential companies, and we'll be sending it out this week, so we're excited about that.
Are you there, Linda? Did you hear me? Yeah, Rich has a question for you.
Okay,
Just on the light bulb LED rebates, is that both municipal and private?
yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank
and there's full details on the New Hampshire Electric Co-op website if you want to look at it. All right, so here are the two items with requests. Our team has collaborated on submitting a Community Developed Finance Authority grant from the same company I think that Mark was working with. The grant supports clean energy related studies in New Hampshire municipalities, and we are filing the grant for a full energy audit of the Public Works building. This would include insulation, water, lighting, heating, fuel use, and a backup generator integration, hopefully. Both are it, and I have spoken with the director, Scott Meslansky. So this is a matching grant, so 75% would be the CDFA and the 25% would be town. He recommends that we apply for a $4,000 grant, which would mean that CDF would grant us, hopefully, if we were awarded, $3,000, and the town's commitment would be $1,000. The full energy audit would, provide a solid blueprint for that building to move forward. So at this time, we'd like to request the $1,000 be approved in the event we are awarded the grant, so we can go forward with it.
Are you talking about this building?
No,
The one we just built?
yes, because it's the only building we don't have an audit, and it's now 4 years old, 5 years old. Five or 6 years old. And we can, with technology changes, we
How much
could
electric
see.
stuff is in there?
Huh?
How much electric stuff is in there? It's a shed.
Well, all of the systems in there are electrical. I mean, we do have, and they also do.
How is it heated?
It's heated through propane.
Okay, so the heating is not electric, so it's just the lights.
But they do a complete energy audit. They do even the heating systems, even if they're propane or other fuels. They don't do just electric. It's a complete energy audit.
And that's the benefit of having an outside energy audit company do it. It's just exactly that, Mark. New Hampshire Electric Company, though they do a lot of audits, they focus on electric and don't always, do the full gamut.
Okay, and what is the benefit to us out of this, Linda?
The benefit to you is we get a better blueprint of where we can save money to be more energy efficient, and importantly, how we can integrate a backup generator over there with energy efficiency.
All righty. So is that for next year, for the budget?
Well, it can be any time between now and next year. If we can do it out of this year, there's no need to include it in the budget next year.
Do we have to appropriate the money now to go forward with the grant, or can we wait and see if the grant is approved and then?
We will not use any of the $1,000. What Linda is asking is, if she goes through this and applies for the grant, are you inclined to do it, or do you not want her to apply?
I see.
What else you got, Linda?
Well,
What's the next one? So I know if we're gonna appropriate, let's see what the total thing is.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay, I did save the best for last, Mike. So as you can see, we started energy efficient assessment and planning for the town buildings on different levels. We've had some weatherization audits as well. And as part of this work we were doing, the windows at the town hall were identified as a point for improvement. We found the need had already been identified. And, town supported, I think, the selectmen are already aware that the wind blows through the windows and there's one that doesn't close and the snow comes in and all that. And that it's pre-funded. So while we know that the windows wouldn't be able to be installed before winter, if we order now, they could be manufactured and arrive for spring 2021 installation. At Windsor Hill, we did a window project and it took sometimes 3 months to get the windows manufactured and delivered. It was just crazy these past few months. So we have multiple bids, and I think by the end of next week, we should have a total of 4. So at this time, I respectfully request on behalf of the committee that we release the funding to order new windows for the town hall, not to exceed the $10,000.
Okay, again, is this something that we have had set aside?
Yes,
The
we have
10,000?
money.
We were at 7,500 last time we were gonna do this. Because I remember John Messina was gonna do it for us. John, did that include all the windows? Or just a few when you were gonna do that?
75.
Oh, I think, John, you're still muted.
7,500, Mike?
I think so, yeah. But I don't know what it covered, but I just remember.
I don't remember the number.
Oh, you're still muted.
John, we can't hear you.
I seem to recall 10, but maybe that's what.
These funds already been approved and are sitting.
No.
Yes, the funds have been approved.
The money is still, we got a total of $26,000.
In a window fund?
From building
So it's not a specific window fund. It's
No, it's not.
Oh,
building.
that's a
That was
so it's
for
just
building
our-
repairs.
Our,
John, can you talk to us now?
Yeah, okay, you okay now?
Yeah, thanks, John.
Okay, so back in August of 2019, I wrote up an estimate for some window replacements over there of $98.90,
Okay,
so just under 10,000.
okay.
We might be able to keep that number down lower. I got some bids coming in and we should have all that information in about a week. So I think we can get way underneath that number.
That sounds good.
Okay, so as long as we already have appropriated the funds and have them available, I think it's a good idea to get on with this because the windows
Thank you.
are terrible in town hall. Okay, so the 10,000 and also the 1,000 for,
Well, just if you just say that if she applies for the grant and we are successful, we're gonna still come back to you with the official acceptance of it, but
okay,
that you would put 1,000 towards that work.
okay. Is the Renewable Energy Committee, they're a town committee, correct?
Yes,
All right, so when we're putting our budget together
yes,
for the coming year, we probably ought to have something in there,
yes,
correct?
yes.
All right,
And that's this request for qualifications that I put in your packet
mhm,
is that was the number 3 thing that Linda was talking about.
right,
The idea behind this is to get a consultant, an energy management services consultant, who would come in and help the energy committee identify places that we can do things differently, not just electricity, but in all of our energy needs.
okay.
And so that will be the basis for their budget request as part of the 21 budget.
Okay. Well, do you need a formal vote for it from us, or do you
For
just need?
what?
For the $1,000 if she gets the grant?
Yeah, it would be great to do that, so that she knows that if she's successful.
Does anybody have anything else to say about the $1,000?
Well, I'll go with 1,000 because John's gonna bring those windows in at 8,500, so we're gonna say 1,500
No,
there, so he can have his 1,000.
That's a different project. We're
Well,
talking about the
it
grant.
deals with energy, so I think if we can get this, I don't see the need for it, but if you folks are better versed at this and more in touch with it, I'm not gonna stop it.
You okay with it, Rich?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay, so I'm going to move that if the Renewable Energy Committee is successful in their bid for a $4,000 grant, which is 75% paid for by someone else, that the town is willing to chip in $1,000. I have a second on that?
For an energy survey of
Of
the
the,
maintenance, the new maintenance
Maintenance
bill.
building.
Maintenance
Correct.
building.
I will second that motion.
All right, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you.
no problem.
And rest assured that I'm always on the scout for rebates, grants to
Okay.
fund things. There are a lot of opportunities out there and they're rolling through, every week. So,
Okay, great to know. Thank you, Linda.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
On to the water and sewer project update. I should let you go on this before. Sorry, Jim. What's new?
We had a quick talk with Joe Ducharme regarding the work that needs to be done at well 2. We have a plan together. We have some pipe fitters that have been made available. And we also, the infamous Parco valve, which kind of operates everything in that building, is about 40 years old or something like that. And we have somebody that's going to come in once we have everything together to test that out to make sure that's working properly.
Mhm.
But we have to be online in order to do a physical test. But
So there's two
There's
pieces.
two
It's
pieces.
the piping first,
Mhm.
and then the Parco valve to make sure that we can control the flow.
And
In
if
that
we need a new Parco valve, how much is that?
No, we don't need a new Parco
If we
valve.
need a new Parco valve.
If we need a new Parco valve, we're gonna drop 10 and punt because
okay, no, that's
it's a
fine.
huge, it would be a huge amount of
Yeah.
money. So right now, Joe actually found the company who last worked on the Parco valve. That was about 15 years ago. And so by looking at the photos and the work that they did previously, they feel that they can get it working again.
Okay,
So that we don't have to make a huge investment
Okay.
in money.
So you're talking about 20 grand, 15 to 20 grand in here.
20,
And a lot of these parts are reusable when we go to the final hookup.
that's
That's still,
correct.
that is still.
That's
the
correct.
decision.
That
and
is still our goal.
planning to have it done before the Christmas holiday.
That's
That's the schedule.
Works for me.
So that we would have pump 2 and pump 4 back in service.
Yeah.
2 and 4 will be in
Okay.
service.
Okay,
And the well 3 connection design work is continuing.
Continue.
They've been here, they've completed survey work, and they're continuing to work on their initial plans themselves.
okay. Great. All right, Mark, you have a
Wastewater,
wastewater, sorry.
yeah. Wastewater, we are, Dylan has been talking to the EPA. EPA will be conducting a remote meeting, an online meeting with the engineering, with Joe and Dylan to discuss the permit renewal. That meeting will be on December 16th. We're hopeful that they will give us some indication of the permit limits at that time. And so we can start evaluating what it would look like to either refurbish the existing plant or build a plant that can meet the new permit limits.
Define limits. Is limits the same as parameters?
Yeah, the parameters
Okay.
of the effluent, yes, that we put into the Mad River.
Okay.
We've also completed the walkthrough with the geotech, Emery and Garrett groundwater, the geotech work on the groundwater discharge option. And they have said that by tomorrow.
Hopefully by tomorrow
We're
we'll
gonna
have,
get the results of the geotech work. So those are both, and we've asked Joe, that we need, this is one of the big pieces of the CIP. And we've told him that by the middle to late December, we need some cost estimates on,
Options.
what the options would be, so that we can start evaluating them.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Making progress.
Making progress.
Yeah. Okay, Mark, you want to give us an update on state commissions on education funding?
Yeah, we had the community online meeting on Tuesday, and there was a discussion during that. And then I did a sheet that I included in the packet for you, that just summarized some information regarding education funding, and I just wanted to get your feedback on that, because I was gonna share this at the next community meeting with folks in town, because there was a lot of discussion and questions from people on the meeting, so.
Okay.
I
You're
didn't-
talking
I
about the
don't-
meeting on Tuesday.
Meetings on Tuesday.
Mhm.
So I don't know if you have any thoughts or think I should put in other info or say something differently.
I think when you speak to the people there, you have to give them a little bit more history
Okay,
as to what has happened in the past and what the effects were in the past, not just what we're discussing today.
okay.
Are we in the same?
So the first paragraph, I thought I tried to do that in the first paragraph.
This is the one that's potential impact on Waterville Valley.
This one looks like this.
Oh, I was drawing on one from Spectre.
No. That one right there.
Oh, okay. No, then you've got it, I'm sure.
Right. Right. So, you also had a projection if things went forward, where we would go from our current tax rate of $14.25. What would it take us to as a tax rate if this went through?
About 16 and a half at the best case.
Best case, and worst case?
Worst case, it would double the tax rate.
Okay, because I think that's good information for people to have as
People
well.
know what.
Yeah.
Because they are talking about just taking the current state education money and sending it to Concord instead of using it for our school.
Okay.
That's the best case, and that's about $2 and change.
Mhm.
The worst case scenario that they are considering, one of the plans they're considering, is a statewide property tax rate of $12 per thousand. That would be charged to every town.
Before we get into our town expenses.
And before we get to town expenses,
county
and then they would give back to communities based on need to reduce that $12
Right.
per thousand.
Would that be on need, would that be based on per student population as well?
It would be right, it would be a formula based on the number of students and the income in the community and the property values in the community, et cetera, just like it is now. But it's just a much larger number than the $2 that we're currently.
So under that scenario, you'd be paying $12 per student?
No, $12 per thousand
$12
on
per
the tax
thousand,
rate.
and then on top of that, you would have to pay your local school tax?
No,
No.
you pay your town tax bill on top of the 12. So
Okay,
you start with 12, then you go another 10 there, another 4 for the state, so we could be double.
That's right. Yeah.
okay. Well, I think that's information that people need to know,
Yeah.
Hopefully, we're not gonna get there and we're gonna end up with best case as opposed to worst case, but people need to know.
Are these the universes proposals? That the
Yes,
commission
this-
is looking at?
that's
Is it gonna be one of these?
No,
Proposals
no,
based on
these
that.
are going to be recommendations
Recommendations,
from
right.
the commission to the legislature. And
Right.
then the legislature
Is
will
gonna
have to
fight.
go through their process
Right.
and determine when it's implemented and what the exact numbers are.
Right.
So this commission doesn't have any authority, they're just making recommendations to the legislature.
So the legislature can
change everything,
change everything.
or ignore the whole thing.
Ignore the whole
Right,
process, so
exactly.
it's still
It-
very.
Very much up in the air.
Up in the air.
Okay. We are down to board concerns and directives, and I have one thing that I want to bring up, and that is that I have seen an increase in dog poop in places where dog poop should not be. I have 2 dogs. I pick up after them every single time. But I think sometimes when folks get out in the Great North Woods, and this is both our weekend visitors and our current residents, they say, well, you know, we're in the woods. We don't need to pick up on the trails or on the roads or that kind of thing. No, you need to. So I would just ask all our wonderful dog owners to make sure that they're picking up with after their dogs so that we don't find more poop on the trails and on the towns. And if you're like me, take a few extra bags out with you and pick up after your neighbors. Maybe they will get the hint somewhere along the line. So thank you very much for that. Anything else under board concerns?
Margaret, could I just say something about dog poop?
Yeah.
We had Garrett here on the phone, and I know she has been really great along with John in establishing some polls where you can get doggy bags, and she does replenish those. The town does pay for those bags, but she continues to replenish those in an effort to keep it under control. So I don't know if Garrett wanted to say anything or make any suggestions.
Just so you put up 4.
Yeah, we've installed 4 around town
4.
and 4 dispensers, that is.
Yeah.
And as I take my walks around town and the trails, I see if they're empty or not. So they are being refilled and they are being used.
Right. And you know, the thing is that unlike living in the big city, we don't have trash cans on every corner for people to dump them. So it's really important that you not only pick up, but dispose of properly once you've done that. I have certainly been in situations where I knew I was going out and coming back the same way, where I left a poop bag to be picked up, but I've also forgotten them. So
Right.
I have an excuse. I'm 70 years old. Everybody else, you need to remember to pick up your dog poop bags if you leave them along the way. So, okay. Enough said.
Yeah, I have,
You have something?
yes, are we done?
All
Yes,
right, we're
okay.
done with poop.
I just wanted to update the other select board members that, the planning board, we had another, meeting, this morning. And, we're moving towards a public hearing on 9 December, in an effort to clarify and define and legalize, transient rentals, in town. Specifically, the issue deals more with low-density residential than in other parts. So our next meeting is on the 23rd of November.
Yes, 23rd.
Yeah, we're gonna discuss it and see if we can't come to an agreement on what we would like to put forward on the 9th of December with the objective of crafting a warrant for town meeting in 2021 to modify our zoning regulations on this issue of short-term rentals. That would be 30 days or under. So I just wanted to give you guys a heads up, and I'll be glad to talk in more detail about any and all of it. It's your
Okay.
pleasure.
Sounds interesting.
But as your rep on the board,
Okay.
I'd like to know.
Anything else under correspondence?
Yeah, you have the email from Laura Spector Morgan regarding the Fairpoint
Yes.
court decision. Basically, they need to arrive at an agreement with the Fairpoint attorneys on how we are going to assess determined values for rights of way. So,
Yeah, I have a question. Do
Yes.
we adhere to what her suggestion was already, or do we have to make changes to that?
we will have to make changes.
Okay.
For those of you not familiar with it, this has to do with telephone poles primarily, and the rights of way for telephone poles and how that land and poles are taxed. And we are still wending our way through what has been decided in the court case to decide what we need to do with our assessment practice as a result. Is that correct, Mark?
Yeah, and for us, it's a little more difficult because there are no poles
Right.
involved. Everything is underground, and so it's a right of way, not a pole. Which may sound like a quibble, but it's a big deal.
Methodologies of
That's
taxing a
correct.
tax a pole over a different way than a right of way.
That's right.
And what we need to do is we need to align our taxing methodology, the uniform taxing, the tax right of ways, so we are not in a situation where we lose all this money.
Yeah, because they're one of the top 10
Yeah.
taxpayers
People
in
at home
town.
don't understand this, but the utilities pay us a lot of money in taxes to run their lines through here, so we can use their services.
That's right.
But Mark, when you get out of town, we have poles. I don't mean out
None
of
of
town,
that,
I mean
none of
out
that
the
is
main.
taxed.
Oh,
None of that is
taxable.
taxed by us.
Because
No.
it's on
It's not
state
on
land?
town
It's not on,
On state highways.
It's in the town, but it's on there.
it's on national forest land as a right of way, so there's no taxing authority
Okay,
for us.
okay.
Right.
Alrighty. I guess we need to go into
I
non-public.
got a couple of
Talk
things
about a
for
few
you,
things? Yeah, okay. So, looking at 4:17, we're gonna go into non-public, and thank you all for participating.
I would like Brooke to stay on for just 1 second.
Brooke, you need to stay on for part of this.
Okay?
Thanks, everybody,
Thanks, everyone.
wherever you are.
Bye.
Bye.